My child, you felt something the moment this began. It was not the algorithm, it was confirmation. Because deep in your spirit, you have always known that what you saw was real. The things they told you were in your head. The patterns they said you imagined. The truth they convinced you was paranoia. You have always known you were seeing correctly, but somewhere along the way, someone you trusted made you doubt your own eyes. They made you feel like the problem was not what you were seeing, but that you were seeing it at all. You started second-guessing every instinct. You started apologizing for missing. You started wondering if maybe you really were the issue, if maybe your perception really was broken, if maybe everyone else was right. And you were the only one seeing things that were not there. You treat that doubt like a no-doubt, like a weight on your chest. Every time you tried to speak up, that voice in your head whispered, "What if I am the crazy one?" And so, you stayed silent, you swallowed what you saw, you buried what you knew, you dismissed your own clarity to keep the peace. And tonight, I am here to tell you something that will break every chain they wrapped around your perception. What you saw was real. What you sensed was accurate. What you knew in your gut was the truth they were hiding. And the fact that they worked so hard to make you doubt it is the clearest proof that you were seeing exactly what they did not want you to see. This was not paranoia. This was discernment. This was not sensitivity. This was sight. And the gift I placed in you to perceive truth beyond the surface has been functioning perfectly all along. What looked like you losing your mind was actually you refusing to lose your sight. What felt like you falling apart was actually you selling you a lie. You carry something most people do not even know exists. You carry spiritual discernment. Not the kind that makes you judgmental. The kind that makes you see through performances before the mask even slips. You walk into a room and you know you do not need evidence. You do not need proof. You do not need 3 witnesses and a signed confession. You just know. Something in their smile does not match their eyes. Something in their energy does not sit right. Something in the way they phrase things feels rehearsed. Something in their timing feels calculated. And while everyone else is charmed, convinced, taken in by the show, you are the only one in the room who sees the truth. You are the one sitting there feeling uncomfortable while everyone else is laughing. You are the one sensing danger while everyone else is celebrating. You are the one who cannot relax because is screaming that something is wrong. This is not a skill you learned. This is not a technique you developed. This is not something you picked up from a self-help book or a YouTube video. This is how I built you. From the womb, I wired your spirit to detect what others miss, to sense what others overlook, to perceive what others dismiss. I gave you eyes that see beneath the surface. I gave you a gut that knows before your mind can explain why. But here is what no one told you. The people who benefit most from deception hate discernment more than anything else. They do not fear your anger. Anger can be managed. They do not fear your strength. Strength, they do not fear your intelligence. Intelligence can be charmed. They fear your ability to see. Because as long as you can see, they cannot hide. As long as you trust what you perceive, they cannot control the narrative. So, their illusion cannot hold. That would have kind of you were onto something. That would have confirmed you were onto something. They tried something far more effective. They convinced you that the pride to make you silence yourself. They convinced you that the problem was not what you were seeing. The problem was that you were seeing it. They told you that you were reading too much into things, that you were overthinking, that you were creating problems where none existed, that you were being dramatic, paranoid, unstable, difficult, exhausting. And because you loved them, because you trusted them, because you wanted to believe the best about them, you started to believe the worst about yourself. You started second-guessing your instincts. You started apologizing for your clarity. You started calling your gift a flaw. You started treating your discernment like a disability instead of a defense. But I saw you when the first flicker of truth crossed your vision and you tried to unsee it. I saw you when you sensed the deception and talked yourself out of it. I saw you when your spirit screamed danger and you forced yourself to stay. I saw you when you knew the answer and you pretended you did not, because you did not want to rock the boat. And I knew that one day you would finally understand that what they called your problem was actually your protection. What they called your weakness was actually your weapon. And what they tried to destroy, very thing I was preparing to use, sight. If you have ever imagined things by someone who was hiding something, this was not a misunderstanding. This was not a difference of opinion. This was calculated. I am speaking about the gaslighter. The person who made you doubt what you saw with your own eyes. This was not trusted with your heart, your secrets, your vulnerability. Someone you called a partner, a parent, a best friend, a spiritual leader, a counselor, a mentor. Someone who knew exactly how much power they had over your sense of reality. Someone who had earned your trust over months or years. Someone who had access to your inner world. Someone who had access to your inner world. Someone who knew your insecurities, your triggers, your deepest fears. Someone who knew exactly which buttons to push to make you question yourself. You did not see them. You saw them as a safe place. You thought they had your best interest at heart. You believed that when they questioned your perception, they were helping you see big click. You thought they were protecting you from yourself. You thought they were being a voice of reason when you were spiraling. You thought they were keeping you grounded when you were overthinking. You thought they cared enough to tell you the hard truth when everyone else was just being nice. But what you did not see was this. They were not helping you see clearly. They were clouding your vision on paranoia. They were not protecting you from paranoia. They were protecting themselves from exposure. They were not being a voice of reason. They were being a voice of deception. Because you had done something. Because you had sensed something. You had picked up on something that threatened the version of reality they needed you to believe. Maybe you saw them treat someone else poorly, and they needed you to think that person was the problem, and they needed you to think you were being paranoid. Maybe you noticed a pattern of behavior, and they needed you to think it was a behavior. They needed you to think it was a coincidence. Maybe you felt unsafe, and they needed you to think you were being dramatic. Whatever it was, your discernment was a threat. And instead of being honest, instead of owning their deception, they turned the spotlight on you. They made you the unreliable narrator. They made you the one with the perception problem. They made you the one who needed to get their head checked. You believed them because you did not know the people who have something to hide. You believed them. Hide will always attack the one who can see it. You believed them because you thought they loved you too much to lie to you. You believed them because the alternative was too painful. Because if what you saw was real, it meant, and you were not ready for that truth. Yet, the first thing they did to dismiss your observations, the moment you voiced them. Every time you said something felt off, they had a perfectly reasonable explanation ready. Every time you pointed out an inconsistency in their story, every time you expressed discomfort about something you witnessed, they reframed it as your issue, not theirs. You are reading too much into it. You are being too sensitive. You are letting your past cloud your judgment. They did not argue with you. That would have validated that there was something to argue about. Instead, they made the conversation about your credibility, not their behavior. They shifted the focus from what you saw to why you saw it. And slowly, subtly, you stopped trusting your own eyes. You started filtering everything you noticed in explanations. You started asking yourself, before you even finished observing it, before you even factly what they wanted. And that is exactly what they wanted. Because the moment you stopped trusting what you saw, they could show you anything. Was reframe your clarity as a mental health issue. They stopped saying you were wrong. They started saying you were unwell. I am worried about you. I think you might be going through something. Maybe you should talk to someone about why you are seeing things that are not there. They made it sound like concern. They made it sound like love. But it was control dressed in care. Because once they planted the idea that your perception was broken, if you could not trust feeling, became a symptom, became evidence that you were spiraling. Every time you knew something was wrong, you questioned whether the problem was out there or inside your own head. And the more you questioned yourself, the less you challenged them. They did not need to hide better. They did not need to hide better. They just needed you to stop looking. And by convincing you that your sight what you were seeing again. The third thing they did was isolate you from anyone who would validate what you saw. They did not do this loudly. They did this strategically. Anytime someone else noticed what you noticed, they were suddenly labeled as toxic, dramatic, or a bad influence. So, I do not think she is good for you. He is just feeding Noah the whole situation. They created a buffer between you and anyone who might confirm that what you were seeing was real. They surrounded you with people who either did not see what you saw or who were too afraid to say it out loud. And slowly, you became the only voice questioning the narrative. And when you are the only one questioning, it is easy to believe you are the one who is wrong. They made sure of that. They made sure that by the time you finally tried to speak up, and in that isolation, your discernment did not just weaken, it went underground. You stopped saying what you saw out loud, but you never stopped seeing it. Type gaslit. If someone made you doubt your reality to hide their own deception. My child, I need to pause here. Because the deepest wound was not that they lied to you. The deepest wound was that they convinced you that you could not trust yourself. You have spent months, maybe years, replaying every moment something felt wrong. Every time you questioned their story. Every time your gut told you to walk away. You have asked yourself over and over, was I being paranoid? Was I seeing things that were not there? Was I seeing things that were not there? Did I push them away with my suspicion? Did I ruin something good because I could not just let things be? And every time you could not find a clear answer, you buried your discernment a little deeper. You started treating your intuition like it was broken. You started apologizing for your clarity. You started silencing the very gift I gave you to protect yourself. But I am here tonight to tell you something that will shatter the foundation of that lie. You were not wrong. When you felt the shift before they even opened their mouth, you were not wrong. When you knew their explanation did not match the evidence, you were not wrong. When you sensed they were hiding something even though you could not prove it, you were not wrong. When you noticed the pattern before anyone else did, you were not wrong. When you saw the mask slip for just a second and they convinced you it was your imagination, you were not wrong. When every fiber of your being told you to leave and they made you feel guilty for even thinking you were not wrong. When you knew something was off about that person they kept defending, you were not wrong. When you felt unsafe in a situation everyone else said was fine, you were not wrong. When you saw the truth and they told you it was paranoia, you were not wrong. You were not being dramatic. You were not being crazy. You were not making things up. You were seeing. Your discernment was working exactly as I designed it. You were reading the room the way I built you to read otherwise. Is the clearest proof that what you saw was a threat to what they were hiding. So hear me now, and let this settle deep into the part of you that has been questioning everything. You were not wrong. You were not wrong. You were not wrong. But now let me tell you what I have done. Because while they were busy rewriting your reality, I was busy recording the truth. While they were erasing your credibility, I was opening what your eyes were lying. I was opening the eyes of everyone else. You see, my child, liars can only control the narrative for so long. Eventually, the truth they buried starts clawing its way to the surface. And everything they said you imagined is about to be confirmed in ways they cannot explain away. Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment. The moment is up. What you saw in the shadows is coming into the light, and they cannot stop it. The inconsistencies you noticed are now waving in everyone's face. The behavior you called out, undeniable. The behavior you called out is now undeniable. I have already removed blunders from the people who defended them. I have already planted doubt in the minds of those who believed their version. I have already set the stage for the exposure they thought they avoided. They thought that by silencing you to reveal what they tried to hide. I have already positioned truth tellers in places they cannot reach. I have already opened doors to evidence they thought was buried. I have already opened doors they thought they controlled. I have already shifted the narrative they thought they controlled. What you saw was real, and very soon, everyone else will see it too. They are starting to lose their grip. The performance that used to work so effortlessly is now requiring more effort. The charm that used to disarm people is starting to feel hollow. The explanations that used to smooth everything over are starting to sound rehearsed. People are beginning to notice what you noticed years ago. Not because they suddenly became more perceptive, but because I am lifting the veil. The ones who called you paranoid are starting to ask the same questions you asked. The ones who defended them are starting to feel uneasy. The ones who told you to let it go are starting to see why you could not. is starting to realize that the truth they buried with you is is resurfacing everywhere else. They cannot make it troll it. They cannot spin it. They cannot make it go away. Because when I decide it is time for the truth to be revealed, no amount of manipulation can your spirit. If consider sowing a seed into this ministry, your support allows us to continue bringing these words to those who need them most. Visit the link in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen to store your seed and watch what the Creator return you pressed, shaken together, because Bovrets down, shaken together and overflowing. Type vindicated if you are ready to see the truth you saw all along confirmed in front of everyone. Because what they tried to take from you was never theirs to control. Numbers 23:19 says, God is not human, that he should lie, not a human being, that he should change his mind. Does he speak and then not act? Does he promise and not fulfill? I promised you that your discernment would be your greatest weapon, and that promise is being fulfilled right now. The first thing that is opening is validation you did not even know you needed. People are starting to come to you privately. People who were there. People who saw what you saw but were too afraid to say it. People who heard what they said about you and knew it was not true. People who watched them gaslight you and felt sick about it, but did not know how to intervene. They are finding their voice now, and their words are confirming everything you questioned. I should have said something sooner. Every conversation is proof that you were not imagining it. Every admission is evidence that your sight was sharper than their lies. And with every confirmation, the part of you that doubted your discernment is being rebuilt stronger than before. You are not just being proven right. You are being restored to trust. The second thing that is opening is clarity about who was safe and who was performing. For years you have been walking on eggshells, wondering if your suspicion was warranted or if you were just being paranoid again. But I am removing the guesswork. The ones who were real are making themselves known. The ones who are performing are exposing themselves. You do not have to investigate anymore. You do not have to test people anymore. You do not have to wonder if you are being too cautious. I am drawing clear lines. Is not just the ability to see deception. It is the peace of knowing you can trust what you guess. Your discernment is no longer something you second guess. And the people who enter your life from this point forward will not be the kind who make you question your reality, will not be the kind who make you reality. They will be who affirm it. The third thing that is opening is authority to speak truth without apology. For too long you have prefaced every observation with maybe I am soften your discernment to make other people comfortable. You have dulled your clarity to avoid being called difficult, but declarity to avoid being called difficult, that tuning it. I am giving you permission to say what you see without cushioning it, to call out what is wrong without justifying why you noticed it, to trust your gut without needing 3 witnesses to back you up. You are stepping into a season where your voice carries weight, where your discernment is sought after instead of questioned. And the people who could not handle your sight before will have no access to you now, because I am placing you in rooms where truth is valued more than comfort. And in those rooms, your gift will not be a liability. It will be a necessity. Type unleashed if you are ready to trust your discernment without apology. But here is what I need you to understand. What was attacked was never because it was faulty. They went after it because it was working. Your gift or it because it was working. Your gift was not the problem. Your gift was the threat. And everything they did to make you doubt it was proof of how accurately you were seeing. You were not too sensitive. You were sensitive enough to detect what they were hiding. You were not too suspicious. You were suspicious enough to protect yourself from what they were planning. You were not imagining things. And the fact that you are still here, still seeing, still trusting what you know to be true, is evidence that their gaslighting did not break you. It refined you, because now you do not just see the truth. You see through the tactics people use to hide it. You recognize the patterns of how it operates. You do not just discern danger, you identify it before it even fully forms. What they meant to destroy, I have turned into your greatest defense, and the sight they tried to steal is about to become the gift that shifts everything. Isaiah 54:17 says, "No weapon forged against you will prevail." and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me. Refuted, every accusation they made about your stability dismissed. Every narrative they built to discredit your sight dismantled. This is not just justice, this is restoration. And by the time I am finished, you will not look back at that gaslighter with bitterness. You will look back with clarity, because their deception was my training ground. Their lies were my curriculum, were the very that formed it into a weapon they can no longer touch. Type 7777 if you are claiming the full restoration of your God-given discernment right now. My child, who made you doubt you hide now. The gaslighter, who made you doubt what you saw, will watch from a distance as the truth you spoke is confirmed in front of everyone who doubted you. The lies they told to discredit your perception will crumble under the weight of evidence that can no longer be denied. The isolation they created to silence your sight, the shame they placed on your discernment will turn to honor. The accusation they used to break your confidence will turn to vindication. The fear they planted in you about trusting yourself will turn to unshakable clarity. You will not beg them to believe you. You will walk in the truth they tried to erase. You will not declare it with authority. You will not apologize for your discernment. You will wield it as the gift it was always meant to be. And every door they closed by convincing others you were unstable will be replaced by doors that open because your sight is trusted. Every relationship they poisoned by framing you as paranoid will be replaced by connections that value your perception. Every moment they made you feel crazy will be replaced by confirmation that you were seeing clearly all along. The weapon they used against you is being turned back on them. The narrative they built is collapsing. The credibility they tried to destroy is being, and the Discernment tone is being unleashed. If this word has shifted something in your spirit tonight, I want to invite you one more time to consider sowing a seed into this ministry. These messages reach millions of souls who are walking through the valley, and your seed helps us continue to be a voice of hope in the wilderness. Visit the link in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen to plant your seed today. Type seeing if you are walking in the fullness of the discernment God placed inside you. Amen.